welcome to Around the Game. And tonight, I am with Vicky Ntale. Vicky, you're so welcome.
Thank you, Vinie, for hosting me after a very long time.
So for any organization to be successful, you need a team manager. And today, I'm with one of the best in the country when it comes to sports related. Vicky, today it's all basketball.
All basketball,
And
indeed.
you told me it's a girl's Sunday, right?
Yeah, International Day of the Girl Child.
Okay.
Yeah, so all the girls out there who are playing basketball, who love sports, who are engaged in sports, today is our day. Spread the love. Yeah, strong women.
Okay, Vicky, I know you for being a very talented post player.
Yeah.
A talented post player actually played the number 3 position of the national team. That means you shoot threes, you driving. I cannot name everything.
Yeah.
So how did you fall in love with basketball?
My basketball journey started in Ntale Hill School. I actually started playing basketball in S2. There's a lady. She's now a lady. I call her a lady because she's married. She has kids. By then she was a girl. She was called Amelia. And another lady, I think she was the captain of the team that time of Ntale, where Ntale was to be the powerhouse in basketball. She was called Angela Lokidi. So all the post moves you see that I do, that I learned, that actually earned me scholarships from my high school through to campus. One move like this, meanwhile, got me scholarships to date. Of course, there's a variety now that I do because basketball keeps changing. But I owe Angela Lokidi, I really thank her for really believing in me and Amelia. So my basketball journey started in Ntale.
Okay, so yeah. What was that experience that made you say, I think I can play basketball?
Honestly, I didn't ever think I would play basketball. But what is it? When we were just seated in class. I remember I was in S2, second term, I think. They were scouting for more girls to join the team. Then Amelia came and told me, but you know, Vicky, you have height. Why don't you play? You know, as you in my height now, in girls I'm tall. So they told me, come and play basketball. So I tried out, and you know, I was a learner, but I was a quick learner also. So I engaged, I started playing, I started training with the team. Few months, I'm on the team. Because in Ntale, to really be on the senior team, you really had to be a workaholic. You had to really, really work hard. But my skill helped me, managed to make it on the team. We were first water girls. I remember even me, Flash. We used to be benched. But you know, with time, we were like, it was a process in Ntale. Before you get somewhere, you really have to work hard, which we did. And we got to the team. And it was a good experience. It was, yeah.
Okay, so were you bullied before you joined the team by other big girls or something?
Not really. The bullying would be working hard on the court. Every time we used to do the suicide, you need to compete with the best. We had someone who used to be the best in running, so you have to beat them. We used to have shooting competitions. We used to have free throw shots, and then basically it was all about working hard. We never got bullied, but the bullying made us better. Let me say, but the bullying was for a good cause, and it was strictly on the basketball court. Yeah.
So briefly tell us about the teams you've played for in the National League.
My journey started out in Amazon Rhino. I think AB, he was called AB. I played with people like Olivia. I played with Gloria. I found them playing because I was just starting out, but by then they were the seniors of the team. So I started playing in Amazon. Later on, I went to Makere Sparks. After Makere Sparks, I went to KIU Rangers. After KIU Rangers, I joined A1 Challenge. Actually, I think for 4 years. Then right now, I'm currently in Duhaga. And I'm still playing basketball, but yeah, we're still pushing.
I so much want to know about your experience in Amazon Rhino, because that was the foundation.
Yes. In Amazon Rhino, you know, I met very many people. I was a very young child. And I learned basketball when I was really, really young. I was in S2, so you know, playing basketball and then books. By then, there were these clubs that used to win these women who are so experienced. Susan Kafumbe, Madame Penina. They were the ones now, the powerhouse in basketball. Now, for us, we were just now the rookies. But Amazon Rhino, the journey started out that we used to train after school, meaning training was at Ambrosoli by then, international school. We used to leave school at 4:30 by then, 4:40 actually. Then we used to go to train. After training, go back home. But the only merit I would give Amazon Rhino was like, it made me the player I am today because one of the basics, they had strict restrictions in the club. There were do's and don'ts, and if you decided to step away from the table and not follow, of course they were recommended, you'd be punished. But at the end of the day, the sessions were working for us. They engaged our parents, because you can imagine you're in S2, your child is telling you, "Mommy, I have practice." By then, those days, "Mommy, I have practice at 5." She expects you home. You're getting home like at 6, 7:30. And what really helped us was the club. The club president engaged our families. So with the help of the club president and our families, that's how we managed to pull it off here. Which by then, I don't think other clubs can do that. Maybe they are doing that, but I'm thinking the foundation that Amazon Rhino laid, actually even before, even other clubs like the Ladybugs, they had that transition, how they used to keep young players in the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
So being one of, I cannot say founding members of the Amazon team, Amazon is really struggling.
Yeah.
As players, I've heard you talk about Gloria, Mwana, Olivia. As former players of Amazon Rhino, how are you guys trying to help the team? I mean, I know there's a gentleman called Don. He's the one trying his best. But of course, you need ladies to help a ladies team very easily.
Yeah, actually, Amazon Rhino is it's still an existing club. But with time, people get busy, people have families, people get married, they have kids, so family takes over. But as I speak right now, there's still a group page that has rhinos, Rhino Athletics. Actually, it's not Amazon Rhino, like it's like Amazon Rhino, it's Rhino Athletics Club. It used to be called RAC, and it's still called RAC actually. So if you are a member, you've ever played for Rhinos, you should be in that group. But most of the group has its founding members.
It's both for the boys and girls.
Yes, Donan is still actively helping the club, and then with Olivia, who used to be the captain, then Gloria, before Gloria moved to A1, and so they actually still watch games up to today. They're still Rhino fans. They go and watch the games. Actually, most of the members in that group, they follow all Rhino games. They help in the way they can in the club. So that love and commitment is still there. It may not be too much, but at least the name is still existent, because right now, if there's a team that was powerhouse then, was Rhino, and I believe they are still playing, but it's just that people got busy, and yes, the club had a few demerits, but I think if the name is still there, it's still active. Yeah.
So moving on from Amazon Rhino, you went to Sparks, right? How was the experience in Sparks? I mean, that's a material team with all the politics at school. I don't know. Tell us about it.
Of course, under Madame Penny now. She's a fun person. She's a fun lady. Everything was okay. I don't even have to say there was I don't have any mishaps in Sparks. Sparks was all about hard work, fun, play basketball, win games, but books was also key. You have to pass. Your life cannot depend on basketball, which up to date, it has to keep there. Books come first. So with Sparks was fun. We had fun. We did our thing. It was fun.
Did you win any championships with Sparks?
The first championship was not with Sparks. The second one we came close to. I think we reached semi-finals, and then I had to leave because I had KU offered me a scholarship to go and study. So I had to leave, and then most of the club members were leaving. The people who were there, like Florence, people had finished playing, and they're also moving to other clubs. And then Olivia left Sparks, went to A1.
So you
and
felt
then,
lonely.
of course, when some people move, you have to move also, but you don't move because of those people, but you move because you also want greener pastures, of course, because like I said, studying was very key, because you cannot rely on sports. Even to date, you cannot, and I repeat that, basketball cannot be your life. You have to have a go-to something. It may be little, but a go-to something. Because today you wake up, break a leg, what will you do? Not all clubs will fully pay for your, maybe your treatment or some. Actually, our Kampala, we're not that professional in basketball. Like, we can treat players the way NBA or whatever treats. So if you have something you're doing on the side, continue. But basketball should not be your life.
That's a good one, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So moving on from Sparks, then you joined KIU. Was it
KIU was under Nimrod Kaboha. And that gentleman also, shout out to Nimrod, taught me a lot as well. Actually, if you're a Ugandan player and you really female to be the best in position the style of basketball they play, and then also you have to love the team. And I just joined KU, and I think before the league started, immediately captain. I'm like, okay, now I'm captain of this team. So what am I going? What are my goals? I have to have a vision. I have to have a goal for the team. Remember, I was new.
Yeah.
But then there's the times I played with Harden. I think she's in South Africa now. Some retired even, I think. Yeah, most of them actually retired. They are married and they retired. But those are the ladies I found in there. But those were good ladies. They played active basketball. KU was fun. That means you have to play club basketball. You have to play, you remember, inter-university games. And the beauty about university games is like every time you play, you're playing with foreign teams. You're learning. And then, KU was also a good experience for me. It actually made me a strong person individually. And then I looked at life differently. And then my basketball also, I think, generated to another level. Yeah, it did.
Okay, so after KU, you joined the Mighty A1 Challenge. Can I call it Mighty? Because I think most girls after university or something think about joining A1.
Yes.
And you were the captain of A1. How was your experience?
Actually, when I joined A1, I was not elected captain immediately. Okay. They had, like I said, every club has rules and regulations. And with A1, you had to be in the team for like 2 years before you're made captain. Okay. So I had to make 2 years. And then with time, the president and the captain by then, they believed in me. I worked hard because I worked hard for the sport, and they saw abilities in me that had leadership skills, and I had the love for the team. Actually, for the love and the challenge, that motto speaks a lot because one, there's love. You love to play the game, but you're also challenged. You're playing a team. That's a challenge. Yeah. You either win it or you lose it. But at the end of the day, you've played the sport you love. Win or lose, you're still okay. Love and the challenge. Then, of course, you have to win games. You're not about losing. You have to win games. But with A1, after 2 years, I was made captain. I remained captain for 4 years, year in, year out. But it's because of the foundation that A1 club has. Because one, with A1, actually, some girls out there feel like A1 is like a tough team to join. They have too many rules or something. But these basics they actually lay down, they benefit you at the end of the day. Like I said, remember, basketball cannot be your life. It cannot be your lifeline because you will grow up, get old, then what? Will you play basketball until you're 80? No. With A1, books come first. If a player signs for A1 and then the following year they come and say, I have to leave. So you can't tie them down. And that's one team. Excuse me. There's one team. That's one thing I like about A1. Excuse me. One thing I like about A1. Because you're not going to, there are clubs that tie on players. Yeah. No, you can't leave. You have to play for us. Those things, which is not good. And one thing about A1 is the girl child is number one. They are huge supporters of the girl child. And today is International Day of the Girl Child. And I'm very sure if you check on any status of an A1 challenge person, it's all over. So number two is you have to read your books. Actually, in A1, if you're slacking in class, they can tell you, what? You can even miss a training session. You can miss training for 2 months. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the trophy. But yes, we'll win the trophy. Yeah. But what have you gained, even you as a person? Yes, the trophy will come, we'll win. But yes, we'll go on and on. But what do you have on the side? That's another thing. So one thing I like about them, they don't tie on players. You want to leave, you leave. If they feel like whatever you've presented is okay, they'll wish you good luck. There will not be any beef between you and the team or something, but it's something that it's a culture. It's a culture. To date, any mentor you find in A1, they'll tell you, Madam, have you read? What do you have? Because most of those women are working class. They can even offer jobs to the young girls in the team. But of course, for them to help you, you have to meet them halfway. You have to have papers because you're not going to go and say, I'm in A1, take me because you're in A1. No, you also have papers. That's why for them, books come first. And that's a policy. And they love the girl child. Any program that represents the girl child. Because I remember last year, before we left, we did a program with AFC. We had Uganda Clays. We are very busy. We were playing the league, but every weekend we are traveling. You find people in Lira, other people in Iganga, other people in Masaka, because it's all about the girl child. They promote the girl child, yeah.
Okay, so A1 has been known to be a team that has always been knocking. I mean, number 4, number 5, number
Yeah.
4, number 5, number 3.
Mm.
What was it all about? I mean, you had all the ammunition. You had,
Mm.
name it all. You had Maureen Amoding playing for A1. You had Mavita. I think Mavita also played for A1.
Mm.
You had Kasim. You had Olivia. I mean, all those girls, those are superstars in the country who have played for the national team. But you've always struggled to get into the finals and win a championship.
Yeah.
What was all that about? I mean, you're very organized, one of the most organized teams in the country.
Yes, with A1, actually, I remember when the day we made it to the finals days, I think I joined A1. I played with Mavita in A1, and we semi-finals. I remember that game. We went neck and neck with KCC, and we reached, I think, the final game. We played and played, and then we won it. So we went to the finals, I think, with UCU. UCU beat us that time. But like I said before, A1 has these foundation policies. There are these women who are working, and then they're balancing work with basketball. And then we got injuries also that time, and one of our best players got injured. I think Betty, it was Betty and Anne. We had Anne, she's called Anne Vogt, something, but she left now in America. So we got 2 injuries of 2 good players, and I'm not using my injuries as an excuse that we didn't win, but work took over. And with A1, yes, the ladies are committed to working, but they also love the sport. And yes, we didn't win that championship game, but you have to fight. At least lose, but lose with 100%. Don't just lose for the sake of losing. Fight your way down the road, and even if you're 6 or 5. Actually, if you notice, A1 was one of the teams that any team would play defense-wise. For you to actually get it in, you are like, damn, these ladies. But I think because of other commitments, that was a challenge.
So that has been one of the major challenges.
Yes, because any person who joins A1, even if it's a rookie, they get them a job, they work, because at the end of the day, you can't rely on basketball. Because work will get you where you want. Basketball should be an additional, and that was, most of the challenges were in their work, because you're competing with someone who leaves class at 5. They go to the court every day, Monday, Tuesday, through to Sunday. You only train maybe thrice a week for only 2 hours, 5 to 7, 2 hours. You have to have maybe and there are players who do, what is it called, personal workouts. Your only workout is when you get to the team training. So it's a challenge, but with time, I'm hoping it will get better. Sign players, but I really believe in the policy of you need to really do 2 things that really benefit for you in your life. Love the game, but have a second option as well.
Okay, so when we put out the poster, I mean, we're going to host Vicky in Ntale. Sorry, I almost called you Iris in Ntale. When we put out that poster and we're going to host Vicky in Ntale, lots of fans called me in and were asking me, please ask Vicky one question. There's actually one fan called Douglas. He plays, he's the team manager of Falcons basketball team. He's a big supporter of A1 Challenge. So he told me, please ask Vicky why she left A1. Like, people are dying to know, because you're still playing, you still have game, and you left A1 Challenge, a team you've been captaining for a very long time, and you went to a money team. So was it the money influence or something?
Actually, one, it's not that it was.
How would A1 let a player of your quality go?
Like I said, there are club rules and regulations in A1, and the one thing they ask from you as a player in A1 is commitment. You have to commit to the club, whether you have a job or you have books or something. Just that commitment. Training at practice. Training was a must, because you cannot go and play without training. So when my work schedules really became too tight for me to actually commit to A1 Challenge. There is no bad blood between me and A1 management, no. But I actually was called and asked, can you play for the team this year? But your commitment had to, be a key in that. But when I looked at my work schedule, and then I had to weigh a scale and, say, what can I do and what can I not, because you can't have both, and you cannot cheat both. You cannot cheat your workplace and you cannot cheat the club that you love. Honestly, I still have love for A1. I will always support A1. I learned a lot in A1, and all management, the players that I left behind. Actually, I think from the crew I played with, Liz, Bazira, Gloria, Olivia, Mavita, Peace, just to mention a few, Maureen and Maggie. I think I was the last. I was the last.
It was about that time.
The Barbara, who, like, all of them were there because most of them left A1. They went to do the A1 managerial. They got posts in the A1 management. So I was the last founding member. Like in that crew I played with. So I'm like, okay, it also got to me. Work came. I also had to balance. I need to choose. I can't have both.
Yeah.
So I told them, I'm leaving the team, so I'm going to join a team. And I joined Duhaga. The good thing is, the coach and management of Duhaga approached me and they asked me, can you play for us? And like, okay. Actually, it was Jose. Jose, who is captain now. She came and told me, Vicky, you know what? There's Renard Duhaga. What do we do next? What are your plans? So I said, it wouldn't be bad, because also, and the only reason when I joined Duhaga was because I love young girls coming up in basketball, playing, because Flavia will reach a day, she will retire. The people in the national team will retire who are playing now. So you have to start another process with the young girls who are coming up. And me, when I started learning basketball, I also learned from the mentors, the big dogs in the powerhouse then. I also learned I was a young girl. And if I had not joined when I was a young girl, I would not have learned what I know now. So in Rena Duhaga, first of all, the main option, actually, because COVID happened, but number one goal was to get Rena Duhaga into the NBL, win Div 1, get to the NBL. They get to the NBL, then they sign players as well that will get them to another level. Now, but the target was to improve the young girls in this team. But of course, you have to start. You can't walk before you crawl. You have to crawl, So we teach them, groom them, come up. Of course, the majority of the ladies that are in Rena Duhaga are from A1. And some are mixed up. Some are from also Angels and some, but there are also young girls in there. The under 16 girls I'm playing with that I'm actually managing on the national team. You train them, make them who they are, make them have the belief and the skill, and then they'll move on to greater heights. But Rena Duhaga's mission this year, but COVID happened, but was one, let's make it to the NBL. Then after the NBL, management has to decide what's the next step.
Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about your experience on the national team. I mean, you were the captain when Uganda qualified. I can call it World Cup. Was it World Cup or something?
It was Afro Basketball and All Africa. Games.
You are the captain of that team. Let me not take the shine. Please tell us about your national team experience.
First of all, that experience was a tough one, but a fun one. I remember we were the hosts. We were in Lugogo, and then we had lost 2 games. We are home. We had lost 2 games, and then you know how you lose in front of your home crowd. Yeah. Of course, you not feel bad. You actually question yourself as a player, and you're like, what do I have to do? So I remember that night. I remember Mavita was the coach, with Haji was also the chairman, Albert. So we had a team meeting at Africana. We used to camp at Africana. First and foremost, before even you go through Africana and all that process of us camping in Africana, national team where it was before, and then Haji, Mr. Santu took over with his management, they prepared us so well that we could not afford to lose. Because you also have to give back to the people who are working hard for you, who are branding you, who are making you have all this experience, the journey. So the preparation was good. We used to train morning, evening, camp in Africa. Actually, we had never camped, ever. We used to just camp. Before, we would go YMCA, back home. We are traveling, we go and then meet up, travel, play, come back. But this time around, it was a new experience. We were all camping in Lugogo, and by then we had one international player that they brought on board, Sharon Karunji. She came and played with us. Peace Proskovia was doubling us with netball and basketball. But that whole camp, us together as a team, that was the number one merit. Plus, it was a huge plus. So we camp in Logogo. Remember, we're sleeping together, we're hanging together, we are just together all the time for like a month before we played. But then we lose 2 games home against Kenya and Egypt. So we're like, how do we go back? I remember we had a slumber party. A slumber party meaning balloons with soda, just to connect. Now we are playing Egypt the next following day. But now for us to qualify, we actually had to beat Egypt by 25 points or something. Yeah, more than 25 points to get our first next step to qualify. So we came, we sat as a team, we had that team bonding. It really, really was good. We talked. We actually slept late, but we actually something came out, that something good resulted from that team bonding. So we went the next day. Everybody was like, we have to do this. I remember that song they used to play, oh Mulira na Rale, oh that song. It was like it keeps singing back, keeps replaying and replaying. So we go face Egypt. We beat Egypt by more than 30 points. We're like, okay, step 1 is done. Now let's go to step 2, which was Kenya. And Uganda and Kenya, the rivalry was too much. So we go in now. Kenya, I think we didn't need to beat them by like 5 points or something. But that was like our survival game to get us that trophy. So anybody that would sub, you would step on, you want to do twice the work the other person has gone in. They would sub Flash Meme is there, they would sub Claire, Carol on your phone is there. Everybody that they would sub and bring in, you have to really play. Sure. And one thing the coach said, if you feel you're choking, you're tired, indicate. Everyone on the bench was ready to play. So we actually couldn't believe it. So we see seconds to go, we couldn't believe it. We're like, I think we're up by 7 points or something. We're like, wow, it is now true. We are really champs. I remember, I just knelt down. I thanked God, because the one thing I told all my friends was like, before I retire on the national team, I have to win gold.
How did it feel playing for the national team?
It was good. It was good. And the fact that we won, it was like, wow, now we got to play. Because every time we'd have those qualifiers, we never qualified. We was always either 3, 4. Then this is an experience. We've won. I remember getting the flag, running around the court. The whole crowd was clapping, embracing.
Anything to help you through the national team from day 1 to the time you retire?
Flavia was there. Let me tell you, that whole team that played that year, Becky Akulo, Caronia Fono, Peace, Lynn, Balotelli, they were all there. We're all there. And we're like, it was really hard. I couldn't say one person took the shine. It was a team effort. Everybody played. I don't take this credit, but because we know when you're a captain and you have people who listen to you, who motivate you, who listen, by the way, captain, you listen, you lead, they follow, because being captain, you don't have to be necessarily on the court. Okay. Yeah.
So you're also now the manager. After retiring from the national team, you became the team manager of the girls team. How is the experience, and how is it easy to manage the girls you once played with, and of course the coaches you once played under? Now you're his manager. How does it feel like, the whole experience of being the team manager?
Of course, before I was made the manager, I thought I would still be able to play, but of course, like I said, some issues got in the way. I couldn't be able to play, but I'm just grateful that Haji really believed in me, and he knew what I could do both off and on the court, and he could use to see it even before my work schedules, because by then I would be on the national team. I used to work with FNL Kinetic Management Group, Mr. Cedric Babu by then, who is also contending for Kampala Central. So please vote. Shout out. So the other issue was that I used to work, and then someone could not necessarily hire you because you're just playing basketball, but you have to have that other certain skill that you put through or portray. So Haji called me and told me, Vicky, how about you come and manage the girls? Because by then he was a chairman, he was doing both managing and stuff, and then he was doing it with Albert now was actually team manager for both girls and boys. So I was like, maybe we need a lady in the committee. So they brought me on board. I had to learn from Albert some things, which I did to date, and I'm just grateful that he believed in me. And managing the girls, it's good. They listen. I have no issues with them. Yeah, and I think they also believe in me that I can give them what they need.
Yeah, then there's a burning question. Again, a fan called in and told me to ask you this question. Team selection. I mean, you guys get players from abroad. And we do not know about these players. Someone comes and they're the national team. Sometimes it's a flop, which is the truth. Like, what do you best on like getting players from abroad?
I wouldn't really call it like a flop because in Ugandan basketball, people people believe everybody's entitled to be on the national team. Because everybody out there who has played basketball and they're still playing, I need to be on the national team. I deserve to be on the national team. Or they need a certain character to be on the national team. But of course, the management is there. That's the reason why the management is there. They sit, they tally. And because before they actually bring these players, it's not that they wake up one day and say, oh, let's bring this one. They are actually following them. Key areas, which club are they playing for, which team are they playing for. So they study them. Actually, they even study them like how we play the league here. Like the gazelles, when they're playing, most of them, there are some certain numbers that they cannot drop to. You have to keep maintaining because it only gets better. You play the league, you get better. When you call the national team, you're even triple, twice better than what you're playing in the league. So we follow these players. They actually follow these players, and they've played before. Of course, even them, the new experience, playing with new teammates, engaging. I'll say like Cotton, there last year. It was a good experience for her. She learned a lot. She adjusted with the team. Claire came back. She had never played home court before, like with new players, because by the time she left, she was playing with other players. Then she came back, she's engaged with other players. Of course, they had to adjust and play together, which was good. And I believe with time, we just need to develop better and have better structures on how we can bring these players in earlier. But some are outside and you're here. It's a challenge, but it's something they're working on the team. Yeah.
You seem to be a very good manager, and of course, you're still the project manager over one of, I think, the biggest basketball academy in the country. That is Ihoops Basketball Academy.
Yeah.
Tell us about Ihoops.
Ihoips basketball is, well, when I talk about Ihoops, it's also another baby that we are still raising, managed to raise. And of course, the directors are, superstars as well in the Ugandan league. They are the Uganda's top notch.
Who are those superstars?
Ben Komakej, and Jimmy. And they love basketball. And, before they retire, they also want to, leave something in basketball for the young ones. So they engage a lot with these young players. Actually, they started off with, I think, Adam, Kakuru, and I think Tendo. Yeah, they used to have a Saturday program at Aga Khan. They used to have like literally 6 kids, 7 kids every Saturday. Of course, teaching these kids the skill and the love for the game. So with time, when Ben and Jimmy approached me and they told me, you know what do we do? Well, how can we take Ihoops to the next level? So one, of course, I'm grateful that they identified and believed in me that I could help. And I was like, let's start with schools. The young generation is in the schools. So how do we start that? Let's do a tournament at the YMCA. It was our first ever tournament. So let us do a tournament, capture specific age group. Actually, remember it was under 16 then. So we did that tournament at YMCA. But that tournament was not just about winning a trophy or something, but it was about engaging the players about our programs. The next step, we are not going to be doing weekend programs alone. We are going to take a risk and say, let's do a weekly camp at Lugogo. Also in life and business, you have to take a risk. And also, you have to also be able to work hard. We took a risk with the 1 week. Remember, they had literally like 6, 7 kids every Saturday program who were not out there. So we sat down and said, look, what do we do? Publicity. We had to go different TV stations, friends that we can rely on, parents, bring in the kids. Which age group should we start with? 4 years to what? 18. So our first camp we had, that tournament we had at YMCA, it actually helped that the kids that when the time they went back to school, they already knew that there's a camp happening. So what we did was we got a file. We started registering numbers, parents' numbers, actually not even the kids. So when we registered, we had to call, because you cannot just send an SMS to anybody and they'll listen to you. So we had to call every number that was in that book, tell them about the academy, the program, and everything. The first time we had the camp, the first edition, we had about 50 kids, which was good. From 7 to 50 is good. Second camp, we had 95. Third camp, we are now hitting 100. Different age groups, meanwhile. Right now, I believe the last camp before COVID we had what, over 100, and I think we hit even the 200 mark. We actually had to even because of the parliamentary games, we took a risk as well. We had to go to ISU. Now we had to book buses, transport people's kids from ISU to here. We thought the experience would be, some parents would not be up for it. But surprisingly, because parents believed in us and we are constantly in touch with parents. Actually, Ihoips has grown because of the parents that we have. Vinie, you can bring your nephew or niece.
My kid.
And your kid too. Inshallah. Mashallah. So you tell someone, oh, my kid plays basketball. It's like communication like that, parent to parent. But it's not even about publicity on TV, which has helped. I'm not saying it does not help, but I hope it has grown because of interaction with parents.
Okay. So so what's up with the Ihoops right now because of the corona? I'm sure kids miss basketball.
They do.
So what's the plan if kids want to still play basketball? Of course, with the SOPs being followed, what do kids have to do with Ihoops?
The little ones, we miss them too, especially the coaches. They keep saying, hey, when are we meeting the kids? But right now we are doing we have home programs for some kids because some kids are blessed that they have coach at their homes. So I'll give an example. Like, let me say a kid stays in Ntale.
Yeah.
So if we have a coach who stays in Ntale or close to Ntale, we send the coach to the home of the child. Of course, with the parents, we engage the parents. So all the kid is training from home, which is extra workout for the kid, and also one-on-one sessions with their coach, making them better. But we recently resumed. We have programs every Tuesday and Thursday. We have them at Fusion, and I know people will start asking, is it safe? Is it because the SOPs definitely at Fusion were followed, and of course they are still following the measures. Of course, the child has to come with a mask when they are coming. They have to, if they have to sanitize as well, because when you come in you have to sanitize. And then we actually conduct half court sessions, so each coach has like roughly about 6 to 8 kids per week. We can divide the court into 3, so each coach has like maybe 6 kids. We're still maintaining the social distance element as we practice, but also we don't want an overcrowded place whereby the kids don't gain much, because with Ihoops the key policy is grow champions but with skill to make them better. Then also we have those life skill sessions. Of course, about basketball all the time. We still tell them, wash your hands, sanitize. Actually, right now they sing it. There's even a song, you must wash your hands, wear your mask, everything. Actually, even before we did these sessions, we asked every child, record yourself doing something that you learned and still believe you can do better, so that when you come back, that's where we start from. We start from there. Keep doing them. Others that can't make it, we send programs. Do this, do that, because skill level is not about me with a court and a hoop. I can work on my defensive stance. I can work on my ball handling. So yeah, and every Saturday they get to play at Kabira, which is fun. Fusion, they're indoor. Saturday, they're outdoor. Yeah.
So you are also the manager of the fans' favorite basketball tournament. I mean, that's the FNL. But as time went on, can I say things happened? And the last FNL tournament was held, I think, at Panamera, and it was half court. Fans were disappointed. Tell us about the FNL tournament. I mean, that tournament brings lots of people who don't really understand basketball, but they just come to chill. Because basketball goes hand in hand with music and all those things. So what happened to FNL?
FNL, I wouldn't. FNL was fun. I actually also do miss FNL, but of course, some managerial issues got into the way. But of course, them deciding to make it 3-on-3, I think they took a risk as well, because 3-on-3 was now a part of a new development in basketball. Because as I speak right now, 3-on-3 Uganda is doing very well. So I know FNL people like, and I think people still like the fun beat. Someone was playing basketball, playing alongside with a good player. I think they meet that, yeah. But they took a risk. They thought 3-on-3 would be better, and hopefully, because 3-on-3 is doing well as well, maybe to promote 3-on-3 in Uganda, they have to also use FNL as a limelight at Panamera. Yes, they took a risk, but I still think fans miss the original FNL. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
So how do you manage all these things you're doing? Because you seem to be managing many things. With of course your personal career.
Yeah.
I know you're a family woman. How do you manage all these things?
First of all, I think it's God, number one, because every day when I wake up, my family, it's my family, my sisters, we really are God fearing family, because one, my mom always says you cannot begin your day without God. God definitely is the journey through your day. So I believe where this energy is coming from, all these things I do left, right, is God, thankfully. But you also have to plan. Because I had the 7 P's in my life. I lead my life in the 7 P's. Prior proper planning prevents beautiful poor performance. Those are my 7 P's in life. And I follow them to this date. They've worked for me. Where I can handle, I handle. Where I cannot. But the 7 P's. Prior proper planning prevents beautiful poor performance.
Calm down. Please say it again. Please say
My
it slowly.
7 P's. Prior proper planning prevents beautiful poor performance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I hope the kids have heard. So I want to get a little bit personal. Do you have a role model in all of this? Basketball role model? Someone you look up to when you're learning the game. Even right now, someone who you look at and inspires you play.
I'll keep saying the ladies I met in basketball.
Like who?
I met Angela Lokidi, I met Olivia Morana, I met Amelia, I met Gloria, I met Mavita. Even some I've forgotten, but they know. Up to date, if those women were not tough on me,
You're going to be finished.
actually, some people, when they see these ladies, they think when they tell them something, they feel like they're rubbing them the wrong way, and yet they're really trying to, they see potential, and it's that potential they saw in me to date. I saw upon the living God when I was playing in A1 challenge or whoever, you score, you miss, or you do funny things. They will shout, they will do, because now some girls, the girls who play basketball now are very emotional. You shout at them, oh, the coach doesn't love me, oh what, and then the coaches as well who trained me.
Like
My
who?
God.
Hamza,
Nyambogo. Then there was also Tom Shamringa, Hamza, Nimrod, Jeff. Jeez. Anyway,
it's crazy.
It was crazy, but what you have to listen. Okay. You still have to listen and work hard, but also you have to work hard. It won't come easy. You really have to work hard. But I believe my foundation was because one, I was a good listener, I was willing to work hard, and I was led by one of the best.
Okay. So do you have a top 5 all-time internationally?
Internationally, one, the goat, she covers the 5. Okay. So bad.
So that is all.
That lady, she's over 40, over what, I don't even know, but she is still dominating. Okay.
So for all the 5,
she takes the. Of course, there's Candice Park as well. There's Maya Moore. There's some players there. They're naturally, so they're there. But I believe if you exceed a certain age and you're still challenging the little ones and you can still bowl, because people, it's not easy, Vinie. It's not.
Okay. How about locally? Do you have a top 5 locally?
Locally, I have a top. I wouldn't say top 5 because, like I said, I played with the new generation and I also played with old school.
I want top 5 of the players who have retired.
Players have retired. Yes. Oh God. Old school. Because there's Olivia has to be there.
Olivia, is she still playing?
Olivia, even Kobe thingy which NBA player retired and they came back and played. So it's okay. So she's there, of course. There's Gloria, there's still Hamala, the Agatha Balidawas, and then Becky Akulo. Okay. There are many. That is already fine. No, there are many. I'm not putting them in positions, but there are many. Now, new school, there even Flavia is now old school and new school.
No, I don't want new school.
New school, there are many. There are so many. New school are many.
The toughest opponent you've come across during a basketball game, offensively and defensively?
Honestly, some Kenyan, I don't remember her name. I don't remember her name, honestly.
Was it defensively or offensively?
Defensively. That lady, when every time you would turn, You either get an elbow on the head or whatever, but
Was
you
that
have to push
purity or
through.
something?
Not purity. She was old school also. I've forgotten her. She was Brenda or something. I've forgotten her name, but I think she was used to win back to back. I've really forgotten her name. It's been that while.
How about offensively? Someone used to give you a hard time.
Like
Like you have the ball
Angela.
and then
She's called Angela.
Is that
She used to play for Storms. Not Lokidi. She was in Kenya. She used to play for Storms. That lady tormented us, but yeah.
So Kenyans are being crazy in your life. So how does Vicky Ntale's workout routine on a normal day look like? What
Basketball
do you do
wise? When I wake up in the morning?
Yeah, like when you're going to work out, what do you do like on a given day when you're not working or something?
Honestly, when I wake up in the morning, one, I said I always pray. Two, I have to make sure I drink some water. By the way, late now, I'm into this detoxing life, eat healthy, you know.
I see the fit.
No, I'm actually still working on it. Actually, it's a test run. I'm doing a test run so that people know detoxing does work. But also, one thing you have to do, there's normal workout. You can have an app on your phone, wake up in the morning, do like 15 sit-ups, maybe push-ups. You don't need to work out for 30 minutes to know I have worked out.
Yeah.
And I keep saying this, people don't believe me, but those short workouts, especially cardio, are the ones that will get you the results. Because when you work out for 30 minutes, you even cheat in the 30 minutes. But those 10-15 minutes in the morning before you go to work, then in the evening, of course, actually I just played recently. I was tired, but yeah, it helped. I do my normal, maybe 10 push-ups, 30 sit-ups. I do a little bit of jumping jacks.
I can
do 30 push-ups. Okay. But on my knees now, when I'm on my knees, but not this, So, I always do. I don't do 30 minutes. I do short things, and I don't do every day. Sometimes I can do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay. And so now I've developed another policy. I walk from work. After work, throw on my joggers and everything, and I walk.
Why did you jog? You should become like a local.
No, because I have my bag at the back and stuff. So that is and I don't do it every day. I do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I walk, and that's something I developed last week.
Let's wait for the results. Another question is tell us about your parental influence. How did mommy support your basketball? How did she go along with it? Because traditional parents, she's playing basketball, she's not reading, boys are going to disturb her. How did you hustle with mom towards your basketball career? Actually, my mom in the beginning, she didn't like this basketball stuff. But because women in the beginning, I said Amazon Rhino played a huge role in my starting basketball. So I had to literally carry the team manager. They came home, they sat down with my mom, and they drew up a plan. So from Monday, it was called FB. Because in Rhino, one thing they did, you have to have permission. This permission, actually in Rhinos, we used to sign permission slips, even to go for team building sessions. If you come when you were young, if you come when you don't have that permission slip, they don't allow you on that bus, or they call first. So we went, they sat down. Your daughter is talented. Actually, Eblink. Remember Eblink in the night? The time used to happen in the night. Now, which parent those days knows basketball is played in the night? They had to sit. My mom was like, no, let me tell you how. Ebby comes, they meet mommy. My mom actually came and watched my first game ever. She saw me play and said, okay. From that day, beyond. And I'm so grateful that my entire basketball life, I've been under scholarships. Okay. Which is another huge thing I'm grateful for. And then now my son, Isaiah, currently is in Ihoips. He loves the sport. He will play basketball, but of course we have to read. Not basketball, we'll run the life all the time. Read and good. And he loves the sport. And I believe most of the players, actually parents who have played in this league, Uganda league, all their kids are engaged in basketball. And for the Fuba family out there, for those that keep bringing their kids to Ihoops, we are so grateful. Your kids are in the right hand. And some of the coaches have played the sport. And Ihoops, the theme of Ihoops is growing champions. So whichever coach you see is coaching in Ihoops, you've either won a championship, or you're on the road to a championship. Yeah. So where do you see girls basketball in the next 5 years? I mean internationally and locally.
Internationally, locally, of course, we need to, the more games you play, the better. the experience you play. Of course, you need to play outside the country. You can't play in Uganda alone. You cannot stick to club level. And I believe these tournaments like FIBA, club championships, whereby the teams that win the league here go up and play teams in different countries, that's exposure enough. But we still believe that we need to engage more in playing with countries that we've not played before. Like, I know we constantly play the teams we play, like when club championships go, JKL, UCU, when they go, they keep playing the same team from Kenya, from Rwanda, because it's in our zone. But it would be good if we could proceed and maybe play Egypt, other than Egypt, or some Eritrea, I don't know, any country, because those are the countries that you're going to meet at a later stage. Because even after you play in your zone, you still go and play in another zone. I actually, but because one, we need support from the government as well, and the federation. Government should not only come through for national team, which they still need to come through, but even club championships. And then I think teams are limited to sponsorship, because our clubs here may be run by a certain individual. Of course, the individual cannot keep, putting and putting and putting. You need sponsorship. I think we need to do it like the way Kenya do it well. Every team in Nairobi is affiliated to a company. I think it's a must. I'm not so sure, but I think it's a must. In Kenya, you're a company, you have to support a team, both either in basketball or soccer or anything. So as here, if we get like these big companies and imagine we have how many teams in the league, like 32. Yeah. If each team had a company it's affiliated to, imagine the experience. Yeah.
So we're living in the times of the coronavirus. It's crazy. So I want you to look into the camera. As a role model and public figure, I know lots of players look up to you, and of course some are not players, fans. I want you to look into the camera and advise them how to stay safe.
One, when you wake up in the morning, my workmates, by the way, they keep laughing at me, but I keep telling them, you have to, one, wash your hands always, especially if you keep touching money. Please wash your hands, wear your mask, and like they say, we have to self-medicate. Drink your ginger, lemon, hot water now is the way to go. And above all, keep spreading the word. If you see someone is not wearing a mask, tell them, boss, wear your mask, to avoid being quarantined.
Okay, then lastly, I want you to look into the camera once again and inspire the people who want to be like you or who want to join Ihoops. Yeah, just look into the camera and inspire them.
Everyone watching back home, one thing is one, put God in everything that you do. Be God fearing. Always don't fear to kneel down and pray if you have a problem, and then follow the 7 P's. Like I said, prior proper planning prevents pitiful poor performance, and then love yourself, love your friends, and above all, work hard. Yeah,
that's it.
Yep.
Any last words? Or that's it?
Oh, Ihoips basketball, we have training sessions every Tuesday and Thursday. They start from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and also the kids get to play on Saturdays. If you need more information about Ihoops, you can call 0782 934419. That's the MTN line, and then the Airtel line is 0756 199 126. Stay safe, wear your mask.
Okay. Well, Vicky, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're always welcome to pass by anytime you want to say hi to anyone.
Finally, I made it.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been Around the Game. So, Sunday edition. I've been your host, Vinie, and before you log out, please subscribe. I'll see you again on Wednesday. Have a good night.